Hello, folks. Glad y'all could be with me this evening. Um, I come on a little early so I could get my everything set up. And if you have any problems, why just let me know. Um, I think I've got sound okay. I think my uh, uh, lighting is good enough. I got a little quiver in my light for some reason, kind of shaking now and then, but I don't see anything wrong with it. But anyhow, we'll make do. Uh, I could plug this other one in. I want to make sure I'm ready to go with 5 o'clock. See if that makes it any. Yeah, it ought to be okay. But I guess we're about 7 minutes ahead, but that's all right. Had a big week here today. Uh, uh, my brother-in-law gets his, I guess what you would call his main prosthetic. He's had one that they made for him just to try it out and see if he's going to be able to walk on, so forth. And of course, it's what they make the other one off of, but they ain't near as comfortable with what the good one will be. So his permanent one will be coming about Monday, and so he's had the other one, the temporary one, for about a week now, and he made several trips through the living room and so forth with it, and done all right. But like I say, your shin bone gets a little sore on it, and because it rubs the hard plastic, and there's a window where that shin bone is in the one he's getting Monday, so that will be all right. But other than that, I worked on my daughter's vehicle and got 2 new shocks put on the front of it. And my buddy Dave helped me on the second day of it. I like to warm myself out the first day. My daughter helped me, but when I sent her to look for something, it took her forever to find it because she didn't know where anything was at. And my buddy Dave, he's familiar with my garage. He knows where to look and what to look for. But he come back and helped me the second day, and what took me 4 hours the first day only took me about an hour and a half the most on the second day, and that's the difference. But I still got some more to do to it. I got to put ball joints on it. I give her that. I bought that truck new in 2007, and it's got the same ball joints on it that came on it, and they've been good ones. But they're contaminated now. The rubber cracked on them, and it won't take grease. So I'm just going ahead and replace all 4 of them, and I'll replace tie rod ends on the McPherson strut style steering. Might need new power steering, but whichever it takes, that's what we put on it. But everything's good, and I got the second let's see, second water bill in a row that I didn't know nothing on because I what happens is that on at the times when they read the meter, if they overcharge you on the days that they don't read it, I think they only read it every other month or something like that. And if they overcharge you, then they pay it back to you, when you have the low months. And my water bill was low this month, so and last month, so they didn't charge me at all, and it evens out. And I might have to pay a little bit next month. I don't know because I really don't know how much they overcharged me last year. But it's what happens every year, and they equal it out. But I hope David and Drainage Swamp get able to get on today and have a few more. Uh, anyhow, I think it's almost 5 now. They'll be looking for me. But I found out that if my mouth don't match up to the words on my screen, it will to the people that's watching it. So I'm not worried about that. And I've got to set on a 3-second delay, and it's almost uh, perfect with my lips. I'm going to try 4 next time, and maybe that'll get a little better. But anyhow, I know they'll be seeing it as I'm saying it, and it'll be lined up. And that I didn't know for sure one way or the other. And I took that last live down that they posted because it was freezing up. I don't know what was doing that, and have no idea. But I'm not going to leave a one up that is freezing up. But I thought we'd talk about deer hunting today. And if anybody out there like to deer hunt, talk about what you use deer hunt with. Uh, me, I use a bow. Well, I used to. I don't anymore because I don't. I used to stalk my deer all the time with a bow and walked them up and shot them. And I'm not able to do that anymore. And I don't like. I like ground hunting. I don't like to get up in a tree and use blind in a tree. Uh, Deer can't do that, so I don't like to do it. Now, I do sit on the ground a lot of times. I get in a bush or something, but the deer can do that too. He can do that. And I like to be fair. Uh, uh, it, it's a lot more fair with the bow. I used to love to hunt the bow, and I actually have killed as many or more with a bow as I have a gun. Because normally my shots with the bow was around 30 yards. I don't think I ever had to take one over 40 that I know of. And I don't think there's one I shot at 40. And because I like to get a good clean kill and I like to shoot the deer. Uh, if I can get him turned right, I like to shoot him right behind the ear. And I can do that for bow too. So I don't like them to have to run off and hunt them and find them. Because from the time they leave until they fall and die somewhere 200 or 300 yards away, that's several minutes of stress and painfulness they have to go through. And I don't like to put them through that. I like to do instant kill. And most every deer I ever got, except one, which made me from then on try to get the instant kill. Uh, Only one did I ever have to track more than 20 or 30 feet. I didn't have to track him because I could see where he went and lay down, but that was almost an instant death. But he was in agony until uh, he died. I don't like that. Same with the rifle. If I shoot with a rifle, uh, my guns are zeroed in. I know exactly where to hold it for 100. I know exactly where to hold for two. I load my own shells, and I make sure they're dead accurate. And if my brother-in-law was in here talking with us, he'd tell you that my shells are dead accurate. My guns are dead accurate too. And I use mostly now either 22 250 or 243, because if you shoot pinpoint accuracy, that's all you need to kill deer. Actually, you can kill them with 22 if you're using a long rifle or a 22 mag, and because they're just as accurate, you can dive attack with them. And uh, I see a lot of guys on television, and they're satisfied with three shots within a half inch. I'm not. I want all my shots holes touching each other at 100 yards or 150. Now, 200, wind comes in a little bit more play, and then it might stretch out to a half an inch. But I can read the wind, so I usually don't get it much more than half inch with the wind at 200. But I don't ever have shoot one there for anyhow. But I love deer hunting. I've done it ever since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. Um, Always made my own calls, made my own lure. I used to cut the muskellunge out of them and save the pea from a doe and muskellunge from a doe, and I'd mix that all up, and I'd 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 have it all over my face and my hand. Anything that was exposed to the wind, I'd have it on me. And I don't want to tell you how close I've had some bucks to come when I was just out scouting with that on me. I was afraid one time I was one going to try to paw me to death, but he didn't offer to once uh, he smelled. And I didn't look right to him. He liked my smell, but I didn't look right to him. But got a lot of deer right here in Clark County where I live uh, with bow. And same thing up in Powell County where I lived up there. But it's not any harder hunting. It's just a little more fine tuned. And once you fine tune it, why you get the deer with the bow if you can shoot it. Now, back years ago, I had a Turkish bamboo, and wasn't no compounds or anything back in. And this Turkish bamboo was best I remember. It was 85 pound or 90 pound draw, one or the other. It was a longbow, and no recurve to it. And at 50 yards, I was deadly with it. Of course, you had to use the old type sighting, and which you put a knock on your string, and you line it up with the point of your arrow wherever your target's at, and you move that knock up and down, and you might have three knocks on it, one for 50, uh, one for 30, or one for 100, you know. And I've never shot one to 100, but I could hit the target at 100 without any problem, because that thing it shot about 400 foot per second. It was a lot stronger than the recurves you got today. But uh, I've used crossbow, and I'd like to make me another crossbow. One I had was made out of teak wood, and boy, that thing! I had to have a big long. Oh, I had a fulcrum that was probably 6 foot long that I used to string it when I put my foot in one end of it and my foot in the other end, and then I take the fulcrum and pull it back until it locked in, and I was ready to go again. Made my own arrows. I done that for a regular bow too. I use because I can make arrows out of bamboo or go around the creeks and get bamboo or get a hickory limbs that's real straight. And if they're a little crooked, I can straighten them with a little bit of water and heat and bite them in my mouth till I get them the way I want them. But as long as you got a flat surface to rub them, roll them on while you're making them, you can take them crooks out of it. But it's now that you can buy everything so readily and so cheap. Well, I ain't saying they're cheap. No, they ain't cheap. But you can buy them readily. But I can make them a lot cheaper and a lot truer. Now, I won't say that I can beat them, but I can get them before they'll hit just as good. Now, I basically like uh, ash and poplar off of well to make arrows because I can cut that with the grain so smooth and then shave it down just a little at a time, and I can get it just as round as I want it. Or a square arrow, she's just as good as a round one. And most people don't know that, but a lot of homemade arrows back in the old day was square, and they were, of course, all you see on the Indian westerns and cowboys and Indians are round, but there was a few that were square, and Cheyenne made a square one, but they I think they when they started coming east, they started making the round ones because the square ones work better with pine and bristlecone, and when they got into the uh, eastern hardwoods down in Texas and Oklahoma, um, they had oak and stuff. Then they started making round ones, like they like the rest of the Indians did. So, but anyhow, regardless of what they made, they're all good and they all work well. You can actually put the feathers on a square one, and you can put uh, 3 feathers on a square one, just like you can on a round one, and you'll have that one side to go against your bow. And the main thing I like to do though with the square ones, I like my point to make sure it's straight up and down with the veins that's on top and bottom. And uh, that makes the shoot a little truer. And as long as you can get them in a 50 cent piece at 35, 40 yards, that's all you need. And then you can drive them home. But what we got here? I see somebody join us. I hope they like deer hunting. Uh, Whoever you are, let me know who you are there and talk to me a while. Um, we're talking right now about deer hunting with a bow, and I just got through telling some folks, anybody that was listening, that I made my own arrows when uh, I used a Turkish bamboo, made my own arrows for it. It was an 85 to 90 pound draw, and I think that's about where we was at when you clicked in there. But Tell me what you like to do about hunting. If you like deer hunting, uh, I've hunted deer ever since I was about 8, 9 years old. And like I told the other boys here, I made my own deer lure out of doe deer pea and the hormone glands on their legs. And when I could find one that was in heat or kill one that was in heat, I would scrape the door area and put that into my lure. It worked like a charm ball. And I'm just telling the guy, I had a buck deer comes close to me one time when I was just out scouting, and I'd taken a rest with this pine tree, and it was a scrape right above where I was resting at, where the scrape was on the ground, but where he hit his antlers in the tree was right above me. And this little buck, he wasn't even about a 6 pointer, I think. But he come up to me and was smelling me. He liked what he smelled, but he it wasn't matching up in brain of thought. It didn't look like a doe, and I thought sure he was gonna the way he was snorting, he was gonna try to get me with them paws and that them antlers, but he never he just backed up and walked on off. He didn't scare him a bit. Of course, I wasn't trying to scare him. Of course, I'd have grabbed hold of them antlers first time thing and pulled myself right up with them because you'd be surprised how quick a deer will calm down when he sees you ain't trying to hurt him. And as long as you just, if you can, grab his antlers and stand up and let him hold your weight on the antlers until he sees that you're not going to shake him around or so forth. And you can actually rope a deer around the antlers and be a petting him in 10, 15 minutes. Of course, that's on another story that I've got on here, but it's not that hard to do when you got the right smell to you and always smelled like a deer. But that's another story. But let's talk about what you like to do, deer hunt, what you like to use, shoot about, what you like to shoot them with. And I reload all the time. Right now, I got dies to reload 30-06, 243, 22, 250, 9 millimeter, uh, AR-15, 223, and 460 Weatherby. Uh, that 460 Weatherby round is not mine. I borrowed that from a boy because I had a friend that wanted me to reload his son. So I borrowed that from a buddy of mine that had it. He don't use it. I kept it for a long time, but I took it back to him. But I don't like to reload them uh, big rounds because I don't think there's nothing in United States you need a 460 for. And 30-06 is the biggest thing you need, or even a 308, the biggest thing you need in the United States. And that's including polar bear, grizzly bear, or Alaskan brown, which I think the same as the grizzly. But shot placements is what it takes. And that's another topic. But I reload all the popular sizes. I also reload 9 millimeter, 10 millimeter, and 3, 380. And I was just talking to a friend of mine today when I was downtown. I got to start reloading some 243s and 22 250s for my grandsons, and maybe some 30-06s for my son. Because they don't like no store bought as long as they can get my reloads. But I've been reloading for way back in the 60s. And when me and my wife got married, I would sit for years, I'd sit at the kitchen table to reload. I'd have to get everything out, set it up. That'd take me an hour. And then I'd reload after supper every night till about 10, 11 o'clock till I got done. But whoever's watching me out there, I wish you would chat to me and ask me some questions, or tell me what you like to hunt with. I was telling boys earlier, I hunt with, depending on where I'm going to hunt at, 22, 250, or 243, or 30-06. When I use the 30, now the wind will bother a little bit more, but as long as you know how to adjust for your wind, you still hold right on and got no problem. Because if you're in the woods, the trees most takes care of most wind that'll hit that bullet, and unless you're on a high point or something like that. But whoever's watching, I'd like to talk to you. Appreciate the like. I'd love for you to subscribe to me. I need 2 more or 1 more to have 90 subscribers, and 10 more or 11 more to hit 100. That'd be a milestone for me, because I had several weeks I couldn't get on here where I was taking care of my brother-in-law. I'm still taking care of him, but he's able to get around now in the house there with no problem. And he calls me on the phone if he needs me. And of course, I go right to him, and he might just want a glass of milk, but that's all right. I'll go get him a glass of milk. Let y'all sit right here while I get it. But he had an amputation, for if you didn't happen to know about that. And doing head over heels a lot better than I thought he would do. I thought it would take him longer to get over it than it did. Of course, I never knew anybody that was kin to me that actually had an amputation. I had a friend that did, but I never went through the do's and don'ts and what ifs and all that with him, because he didn't get to see me that often. He done had it cut off, and a year before I seen him, because I was out doing other things and didn't even know he was having an amputation. But next week, my brother-in-law gets his permanent prosthetic, and he's had one. He's been prosthetic, and